Alright guys, welcome back. We are watching ReZero Season 3, Episode 15. Already the penultimate episode, huh? That's crazy. Last time, we dealt with all the Tiresias stuff. Pandora, was there, which I don't know what to think about all that. I have some more stuff I need to talk about with the last scene of the previous episode, which we will hopefully do in the discussion of this episode. So I'll probably do that at the end of the discussion of this episode. That's the plan. What more do we even need to do? We gotta deal with gluttony. That's about it, right? Lust. I don't know what happened between Lust and Al still, so who knows, but only got a couple things left to do, and we got a couple episodes, so sounds about right to me. Okay, so we're watching episode 15. You can line your own copy up with this if you want to. We are starting in 3, 2, 1. Let me make sure I'm on the right subs. I am. Okay. Crazy how many times we got to see the opening in this season compared to normal ReZero, huh? The answer is really just season 2, right? Season 1 normally had the opening, right? Hmm. Yeah, this opening is probably my favorite one, I think, of ReZero. I don't know, maybe. I like the season 2 ones we got to see like 5 times, so I feel like I feel like I'm not judging it accurately, because the season 2 ones, we never got to see them. So I don't know. Hmm. Okay. Oh, yeah. Still fighting gluttony. Yeah, you'd think it would be easy, huh? But I don't know. I'm worried you're all gonna get eaten. We. Still, yeah. Hmm. God. Oh, be careful. Ooh, I see. Oh. Oh, okay. God, Oto's so cool. Yeah, right? I guess he wants to eat them, huh? Right. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Ooh. Ah, calling him an indiscriminate glutton. Interesting. Okay. Maybe that helps my analysis of, like, the different kinds of gluttony they represent, I suppose. Ah, yeah, right? Absolute gluttony. I see. That's certainly a difference between Lie's, like, gourmet way of thinking about gluttony. I'm telling you, this guy ate Julius's brother. What was his name? Oh, Julius doesn't even know, right? I assume his memories were deleted, right? Of him. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God. Ooh. It's right. Uh-huh. Cycle, huh? Oh, God. These guys are strong, huh? Man. Hmm. We need Reinhard. Where is he? Ooh. We'd once given up on. Okay, I don't like that. I don't like that face at all. I literally, right? From memories of people he's eaten, I assume. Ooh, yeah, he is really injured. Is Julius a match for him alone, though? Oh, well, right, right. And maybe that's why they use, like, we to refer to themselves, you know? It's because, oh, okay, right, lunar eclipse. It's because they're made up of, like, the memories of all these people, you know? They have all those memories. But that's great. I guess. Did that kill him? I sure hope not. Oh, okay. That's not good. Hmm? A banquet, huh? Oh, okay. He can do that, apparently. Yeah, right? Does he get, like, I assume he gets these abilities from all the people he's eaten, right? Ooh, I see. Oh, okay. It's my bad. All right. That's who we got these powers from, maybe? If that is how it works. Very. Okay, Julius is not dead, I guess. Hmm. Oh, God. Right, right. Hmm. God. Does Julius remember? Does he still have memories of his brother? Or are they erased? Oh. Yeah. And yet he did, huh? Oh, he doesn't. Yeah. Oh, God. How awful. How cruel. Oh. Well, God. Now that burden's gone, huh? Oh, I see. Ooh. Yeah, it has to feel so. I just can't even imagine, right? Like there's memories being gone. It has to have such a weird effect on you. Oh. Oh, don't. I don't know. God, and how, like. Oh, why we hated you? It did not seem like he hated Julius at all. Oh, God. Okay, back here. I have right. Good. Just puts herself back together. Right. Ooh, even if I die 100 deaths. What, does he get stronger every time he dies or something, I guess? Okay. Pulverize your soul. I, I guess that would make her very happy, huh? Be the center of attention. If you say so, maybe. I guess he would know, huh? Oh, God. Right, right. Yeah, uh-huh. I don't think he's too interested in you, honestly. Oh, that's great. That's good. Uh-huh, uh-huh. What? Oh, turn into a dragon again. Okay, good. That's her favorite one to turn into. I like this one more. You look awesome. Ooh. I can't love anyone, huh? Oh. Is there? Okay. I guess you have to trap her somewhere. That's kind of the best way to deal with her, huh? If you can, I guess, right? Depends on how her powers work, I suppose. Of course. So it's almost like attention itself is love, huh? Interesting. God, what the hell is up with Al, huh? Okay, well, he did it, maybe? Ooh. Is he about to take it off? I see. Huh. What? God. What could be... Hmm. Would we, like, recognize him or something? How would that be possible? He's from Japan. Uh, don't say that. Oh, you don't look fine. I don't know. Yeah, is that even gonna stop her, though? Yeah. Depends how her power works, right? Yeah, right? What is... Anastasia's magic, right? I was kind of a... a shock, I suppose. Ooh, could never do. I see. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize... Hmm. True. Oh. Okay. Great. Yeah, it is turned into a rat. Awesome. Just do it. Yeah. What the hell do we do? Literally, what do we do? Jesus Christ. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. Oh, God. Right. Yeah, you need some eyes. Where are they? Oh, thank you. Oh, God. Awesome. Thank God. I thought it might, like, yeah, slow you down a little bit or something, right? No, you didn't. You're just saying that, yeah, to make us feel good. I don't know. I see. I see. Okay. Really? Just gonna give up, huh? Just gonna leave? Why? Oh, did you? Oh, I see. I see. To get some more identities. Oh, right. God, the way her voice changed. It's merely a guide, I suppose. Right, right. Do you really believe such a thing even exists? Ah, I don't think that's how it works. Yeah, right? Yeah, yeah. Great, great. Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like we just let her leave, right? I feel like that's the best play to make here. I don't know. Ooh. I just like you, maybe. Hmm. I guess. That's, like, not an answer. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we kind of just have no choice but to let her go, huh? I mean... God, so what is up with Anastasia? Ooh. Right, right. Oh, God. Of course. Oh, where is Krush? I guess she's still just back. I don't know. Oh, God. But no one's protecting her. Oh, hi, Reinhard. Okay, thank God. Oh, his face, though, right? His face. Ooh. Interesting. How many times do you think Reinhard has heard something like that, huh? Yeah. His duty is the Sword Saint, right? Oh, God. Right, right. Huh. Oh, God. I don't think Reinhardt... Could Reinhardt even kill Lust either? Anyway, we're back to this. We're back to this. Ooh. I see. Interesting. Or he stole that talent from someone else, right? Yeah. From the people he's eaten. Yeah, yeah. Not that that really matters. What are we supposed to do about that, right? Oh god, don't piss him off again. Oh no. Yeah. Don't remind him that you're a merchant, please. Right. Hicks Hartman, huh? Oh, he ate... Oh, he ate their name, right? Yeah. Really? God. This has to be the cruelest power. You know? It's just gone from all of them instantly. Yeah. Yeah. But you know you have, right? It has to be this... God, it would drive you insane, right? You can use his voice, too? Awesome. Great. Ah, that means Rim is in there, huh? Oh. Ooh, and Melee? I see. I see. Man. Yeah, yeah. God, yeah, this is easily the most cruel one, right? Like, ah, absolute gluttony. Strong emotions, huh? Is that related to gluttony? I suppose so. I mean, there was no one here who can fight this guy. Like, I don't know what we're gonna do. Ooh. Ah. Oh, he has his memories. I see. He has that guy's memories, right? I see. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? There we go. That's good. That's good, right? That is good. He has to know your name, right? There we go. No, Oto. This is a good thing for once. This is good for once. Come on. No, come on. Oh no. Yeah. Hmm. I see. I see. So, I mean, what are you gonna do about that, though? Rui. Rui again, huh? Yeah. It's gotta be another gluttony, right? Are they here? Hmm. Yeah, how nice of you. Indeed. Right, right. Impeccable table manners. Hmm. Oh, God. It's like he has all the skills of all of these people he's eaten. He's just like unbeatable, right? In terms of, I, God, yeah. Oto, oh God, you can touch him, I guess, but what's that gonna do? Hmm. Okay. Ooh. What did he do? Oh, I see. Okay. Is that gonna do anything? I don't know. I don't really believe it, but let's see, huh? I did nothing at all. Ooh. Yeah, no. Literally no effect on him in any way. Ooh. Are they? Oh God, Oto, please, come on. I I don't think so. I do you torture, I guess? Awesome, awesome, good. Good. Oh God. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Beatrice? Yes, okay, nice. Let's go. She's back. She's awake finally. Oh man, we do have someone who can take him on. I hope, right? Come on, Betty's awesome. Oh, okay. Jesus, close. Huh? He's really savoring it, I guess. I sure. I guess that's the number one priority. Oh no, fuck. Can he? Well, she's a spirit though. Can he erase her? You know what I mean? I don't know. Whose memories even are those? Yeah. God, a lot, I'm sure. Does he even know, I wonder? Oh, that's Rim. Duh, that's Rim, obviously. Oh, God. Oh, no. Yeah, yeah. And they'll know who he's talking about, right? Yeah. Oh, God. Oh my god, imagine if Subaru was here right now, right? He would lose his fucking mind. Subaru can't fight this guy, he knows his name. Right, right. God, because remember, Rim said her name when she was fighting Lai. Yeah. Ah, that's so awful. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Okay. If you can, I suppose. Is that the end? That is the end. Fuck. Okay, no ending, huh? Okay. Man, that felt like a long episode, even though it wasn't. I don't know why. Okay, we'll talk about it in the discussion. I was seconds away from forgetting about the break time, but I didn't, so let's watch it. Oh god, we're back here. Who are you? Right, she has the ridiculous name. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Ooh. Oh, God. Okay. Sounds important. Sure. Interesting. God, yeah, this one sounds relevant, huh? Ooh. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Oh. Oh God, really putting her on the spot, huh? Okay, so go for it, I guess. It's not a joke. Not a joke at all. Hmm. Well, not surprising. I see. Okay. Too influenced by him. She can do it. Come on. Okay. It sounds good. Although I don't know. The dragons and people eat the same thing? Oh, okay. There we go. Go for it. But a person. Amelia. Just Amelia. There we go. That was great. I loved that. Okay. Now, let's talk about the episode. Okay, let's talk about the episode. Man, this was just like a whole bunch of battling, huh? This was just jam-packed. They were just fighting. All this was them fighting Gluttony and then fighting the other Gluttony and then fighting Lust. So, I mean, I had no complaints, right? It was a very action-packed episode. I don't know. I wonder how much I'm even gonna have to say. I certainly have some theorizing to do about it's a lot of stuff. I don't know. And I need to remember to go back and talk about the last scene at the end of the last episode. I will do that at the end of the discussion. I better remember to do that. Okay, so I was thinking more about gluttony, right? And these different sides of it, I suppose, that you have to say that these different archbishops represent, right? As part of gluttony. You know, we had our whole like talk last time. Was that last episode? The episode before? I don't remember. About gluttony and how it's weird that there's multiple archbishops for it. I don't really have an answer for that still. I don't know what's special about gluttony compared to anything else that makes it have to have multiple people representing like different aspects of it. But sure, right? It seems like, the main obvious difference, I guess, is that Lai is like this whole gourmet idea, right? He talks about spicing his food. He only wants to eat delicious food. All of this, right? Whereas Roy, he's talking about like he likes to eat anything. I guess, right? He's willing to eat anything at all. Which like, what does that mean? I don't really know, right? I want to try and connect it. The fact that the people that they both eat become part of themselves, right? Like the memories that they get, they have those memories, they have those abilities, they have everything about the people, the names that they eat and their memories and stuff. They have them, but I don't know. It's hard for me to think like what that means, I guess, right? The effect that their authority has is like the most awful one, right? It's the most brutal one in a lot of ways, right? Erasing someone from history completely, making it so no one remembers them, like that thing that they say about like death and how like there's different stages of death, and like the final one is when you've forgotten, right? It's like the first stage of death is when you actually die. The second one is like the last time someone says your name, and the third one is like when no one remembers you, right? I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. They speed run you right to the last stage, right? No one even remembers you. Just your existence and everything is gone completely, right? And I guess it's pretty gluttonous of them because it's like they get all of that in a way, right? They're the only one who gets to remember it, I suppose, right? And I guess that's an important thing about gluttony, isn't it, right? Because the reason why gluttony is bad in a lot of cases, right? The reason it's seen as a sin, I suppose, is because it's like the idea that you're taking more than you need at the expense of other people, right? And I guess that's what they're doing here, right? They're very much they're taking all of these powers, all these memories, all these abilities for themselves, and literally taking it away from others. No one even remembers or knows anymore, right? Yeah, yeah. So, God, and especially Rim, right? Like, yeah, what they say at the end of the episode about, like, I don't even want to know how Subaru would react about this. God, it's something that, like, I feel like we have to address eventually. The way Subaru feels about Rim and the way that their dynamic, like, ended, right? I just wonder, like, since it was never really addressed, right? All this stuff about Rim because she fucking died, basically, right? Almost worse than death in a way. Um, I feel like there's an interesting possibility that like because Subaru has changed so much as a person ever since like all the stuff with Rim happened way back in season 1, I just wonder like Rem and her existence and all of this, right? The possibility of her getting her memories back someday and re-entering the story, all of that, right? Because that certainly seems that's kind of a Chekhov's gun. I feel like that's gonna happen no matter what, right? I just really wonder what that will mean for Subaru, like when that happens, right? It feels like something that makes me think about is how, imagining the anger and rage you would feel seeing Lai speak in Rem's voice and the probably just the incredibly reckless way he would behave and all of that. It almost feels like being faced with Rem right now would almost return Subaru back to the way he was before, in a sense. It feels like it would almost undo some progress for him. Just his involvement with Rem, the memories he has of her, the emotions he feels when faced with all of that and stuff. Because it's just interesting. Because back in season 1, episode 18, all of that stuff, Subaru really needed all of that from Rem in the moment. Of course he did, right? He needed anything to hold on to, right? He needed someone to be like, "You're my hero, and I love you," right? Um, but I just wonder. That felt like, in retrospect now, and maybe even in the moment, that really feels like a kind of just a patchwork job. You know what I mean? Like it's something that Subaru needed to not give up and die forever right then, right? Um, but I don't know if that's actually good for him to have someone like that in his life, to have those kinds of feelings about someone. It makes me think about I gotta expand on myself more. I don't know how that how that sounded. It makes me think about the general theme of this season at large, right? Which has been this whole idea of being a hero and protecting other people, and what it means to be a hero, and all of these things, right? Which is very relevant to like the whole thing that Rem, that whole speech about Rem and Subaru being Rem's hero, and all of that. And so we got to think about we've been faced with these different ways that people are heroes and like what that even means and all of that, right? And I feel like the way that Subaru was a hero for Rem and like the attitude that they had for each other was kind of like not the healthiest in a sense, maybe, right? Like this whole it almost feels like this very like dependent attitude that Rim had towards him, maybe, right? It's been a while. It's been a long time. And it's like I guess I don't know how it all would have panned out if this hadn't happened to Rim, right? But I guess I just wonder if, like, now I'm just thinking about Subaru being faced with that, considering, like, the way he thinks and feels about, like, Amelia now, or, like, Beatrice, right? The choose me scene, all that stuff. That feels so different in retrospect than the way Rem was, like, thinking and feeling about him, right? And I guess I just don't know how Subaru now would think or feel about all of that, I guess. It just feels like we've had so much development for him as a character. We've thought so much over the course of this season what it means to be a hero, what it means to protect another person and everything. And it just feels like the whole dynamic between Rem and Subaru is a very interesting take on all of that. And I'm really unsure how I feel about it, I guess. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure eventually, like, I don't know if we kill gluttony, if everyone will get their memories back, if we will be faced with that idea soon. Because, like, the only reason I'm talking about it is because the show itself is bringing up that idea, right? That yeah, Subaru being faced with these memories of Rem, of course it would hurt, but what will it mean for Subaru if Rem does wake up, right? What will it if she gets her memories back? I don't know. I don't know. How much of his self-worth, how much of everything is still tied up in all of that, right? I really don't know. We haven't really seen Subaru. It's probably something that hurts so much for him to think about, or like anything that we never really see him like think about it that much at all. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I really wonder. I really wonder. It's something on the horizon that has to happen eventually. And I don't know. It makes me think about all the stuff we talked about in this season with being a hero and how that applies to Subaru and Rim. And I don't really have a solid answer for any of that or like what any of that really means to me yet. But we'll be there eventually. We'll be there eventually. Anyway, we're fighting Gluttony. Gluttony's OP apparently. I underestimated his strength, his ability. Apparently we do need Reinhardt around here for him, huh? But Beatrice is hopefully good enough, I guess. All these people, despite how awesome Oto is, right? It's not enough. Not enough to deal with him at all, right? Because not only is he so skilled and everything, he just seems like literally invulnerable too. Like Oto blew some bombs up on him and nothing happened. So yeah, yeah. The advantage, of course, is it seems like he doesn't actually want to kill anyone unless he can eat them, right? Like eat their memories, right? Eat their name and all of that. Which, God, that's so, it's like the idea of savoring your food, I guess, right? That's what it feels like he represents, I guess. Like savoring, but then like what do I mean by food? It's like, you know what I mean? Like how do we apply that idea of gluttony and savoring stuff to that idea, to the idea of the sin of gluttony in general? Hmm. I don't know. I really don't know. Frankly, I'm really not sure. Hmm. Well, nothing compared to the indiscriminate glutton Roy. Right, yeah. So that's how we create this clear difference between the way Lai thinks about food and eating and whatever that like means, right? Like being gluttonous in other ways beyond just food, I suppose, compared to the way that Roy does, right? I'm still just so I'm so unsure on like what way to even take it. What does it mean to be gluttonous in ways other than like eating food, right? Gluttonous about I mean, you can be gluttonous, I guess, about almost anything in life. You know what I mean? So like, about like relationships in some way, right? Like that feels like it's related to the whole like eating memories and names and stuff thing, right? Love, they don't. It's interesting because these are the two archbishops, the two that we know of so far, right? The two gluttonies that we've seen. That it feels like they haven't mentioned the idea of love at all, right? So I kind of want to relate gluttony to that in some way, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, obviously, you could take a very broad idea about it and think about how it could be a negative idea to both only want to accept the best in life versus accept literally everything in life the way Roy does, right? Like, sure, I guess, but that's just kind of like an incredibly broad way to think about it that I don't know if that's really in the text or not. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, Roy here, ate Julius's brother. I forgot what his name is. God, I can't look it up. There might be spoilers. And I don't have like the early episodes downloaded, so I deleted them for space as we've been going. What the hell was his name? It started with a J as well, right? I um I don't know. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I forgot him too, I guess. Man, what was his name? Fuck. Something Jaculius, right? Julius Jaculius and something, someone. I feel like it's right on the tip of my tongue. Um, I no, I'm not gonna remember it. I don't know. I'm not gonna remember. I can't remember it last time either. But yeah, he ate him, so that's really great. That's really great. And this guy is similarly just as, like, invincible and powerful, seemingly, right? And God, all this makes me think about, as Roy, like, taunts Julius with his memories like this, right? Is, like, how awful and traumatizing that has to be. Like, your memories being, like, warped and erased and, like, changed like that, right? It makes me think, like, because there's no way it can, like, make sense in your mind, Like, it's just, like, we see that scene, basically, of Julius thinking back on it, he looks through the window, and he just sees, like, this blobby, indistinct shape of his brother. It's like this I just feel like that's how it would be, because there's no way for your memories to make coherent sense. It's like you would just drive yourself crazy trying to think about it. Yeah, it would probably just be, like, traumatizing, you know? Like, it's almost like repressed memories, right? Like how like, trying to remember repressed memories, except you literally can never remember them. You can just tell there's something missing from your memory, but you can't, like, access it, you know? That's what I mean when I say this is, like, the most awful authority, right? In terms of just the effect it has on people, right? We idolized you, brother, and that's a spell you worked your hardest to create. Right. And he just loves taunting people about it, huh? Dog meat is best skewered. Tough, sinewy meat needs to be stabbed until it's tender, easy to eat, and easily transformed into nourishment. Right. He talks about the cycle of life. I don't know, like, I guess that relates to the idea of eating and gluttony in a sense, right? I don't really know how to connect that otherwise, though, right? I didn't think gluttony was going to be like the hardest archbishop for me to figure out, but they really are, right? I don't know. I don't know. Again, I can just think of like these broad ways in which gluttony is applicable to like life in general, but not really in any way that connects to them, I guess. You know, maybe I need to see Rui, who I assume is another Archbishop of Gluttony, right? I assume we got a third one. Um, what do you think she would represent? You know what? I don't even remember. I know I came up with like a third idea of gluttony, right? The idea of savoring your food, the idea of eating anything you can, and then like what? What would be another aspect of gluttony, right? Like uh eating for like survival, I guess, right? That's like the other one you can think of, I guess, or that I can think of. But is that even gluttony? You know what I mean? Like maybe in a sense you could call it such, but I don't know. I don't know. Those are just kind of different aspects of eating, not specifically gluttony, right? I don't know. I don't know. Julius is awesome, but he's not good enough, right? I mean, if Roy knows everything that Julius is going to do, he knows all his powers and abilities and everything from eating his brother, right? Yeah. Hmm. The genius hard work of the finest of knights. You're still full of charms that we don't yet know about. It's interesting bringing this up again. Okay, we know a few weird things about Julius, right? He very much defines himself as a knight, and that title means a lot to him. And I don't know, he has like a weird relationship with the idea of being a knight, I feel like, right? He's this very picturesque, like, idealist, like, picture of a knight, you know what I mean? Like, the perfect ideal knight is Julius, right? Uh, and I feel like maybe similar to the way Reinhard thinks about being the sword saint. It's like he really defines himself by that, and he really, you know, he lets that title almost like overwhelm him. Maybe it feels like. So it's just interesting. Like, I don't know. I feel like we kind of get another aspect of that here from Roy saying all this stuff, like using his brother's memories, talking about, you know, he's the finest of knights and all of this, right? Also, like the weird thing about Anastasia being guilty about Julius. Um, I don't know what that was all about. He uses a lunar eclipse on him. He uses a Pokemon move. I don't know. It's something, I guess. We've used this strike to slay 88 other pretty boys like you. Jesus. Did you feel it all the way down to the marrow in your bones? Really did get him, apparently. A banquet. And he summons these crazy dragons. Yeah, he has all of these powers, right? Very interesting. Very interesting. Hmm. Why did you choose evil? Well, he got all of this power from being evil, right? That's where he got it from. From being gluttonous, I suppose. You're the brother we know, the brother we put our faith in, right? Is that why Julius, you know, like we get these flashback stuff about his brother being sick in the past, right? Um, and Roy, with his brother's memory, says this stuff about like having put his faith in Julius. We know that Julius's brother was very he like idolized him a lot, and he thought he was awesome and all of this, right? Um, does that have something to do with why Julius like became a knight in the first place? You know, like him climbing up that tree to get the apple for his brother. You know, is that feels like that has to be very emblematic of their relationship, I suppose, right? That Julius was like doing it for him in a way, maybe, right? I guess. And then what would that mean now that his brother is gone, you know? I don't know. I don't know. But Roy also says something interesting about like being like jealous of him, like despising him, you know? We were so frail. One time when we fell ill, we asked you to pick an apple for us in the tree in the yard. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Said at first he couldn't do it, but yeah, he pushed himself to do it because his brother wanted him to, right? That makes me think that's probably how the dynamic of their relationship worked, right? I wonder how much that is like Julius's drive to become a knight in the first place. And he doesn't remember anymore. And that's the kind of thing where it's like, if you've forgotten that, then like, how can your memories even make sense anymore, right? If that is part of the reason why Julius is like foundationally the reason why he is like this today, then how can your mind even make any sense if those memories are deleted? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. There have to be people that just go insane from it, you know? That we were different, that we were a burden, felt like a burden, huh? And does Julius feel like he has to carry that, I suppose, right? I mean, again, it's like the idea of being a hero yet again, right? The idea of being a knight, I suppose. The burdens you have to carry, the people you have to protect. What a great feeling. So this is how it feels. And we and ourselves finally know how it feels. Hmm. Interesting. Julius gets so mad, right? It's obviously affecting him, you know? You picked that apple for us, and that's why we hated you so much. Interesting, right? That it was but it's like I feel like from Julius's brother, we never got that vibe from him in present time, you know, maybe in the past. That's how it was, I guess. Julius felt like he had to work for his brother's approval, maybe, right? I don't know. I mean, honestly, that dynamic makes sense. If his brother was sick and frail all the time, was unable to do the same things Julius was, I can imagine that kind of that kind of dynamic developing between them. Of course, right? Just I don't know. I don't know. It gives me so many questions. I love Julius. Julius is such a cool character, and I love him. I wish I knew more, huh? Back we are to Alan Capella. I love this is so fucking funny when she just puts herself back together. Like she doesn't even have to do that. She just did that because she thought it looked cool, right? Like how many more times will it take before you can actually kill me? Can she die? Can Capella die at all? I wonder, right? Is there any limit to her ability? Because again, it's like the authorities, they don't really work the way magic does or anything. There's no mana limit. There's nothing like that, right? It seems like they can just use it forever. I mean, Regulus, right? His authority was active on himself for hundreds of years, and he never turned it off. Right? Why would he? Right? So it truly seems like there's no limit to them at all. So I don't know how you would ever kill Capella, right? It seems like in order to transform into people, she needs memories, right? She needs knowledge of what she's going to transform into, right? Into like a person, into a dragon, right? Into there's rats, all of these things, right? Because that's what she says, right? She says she's gonna leave because she's gotten what she wanted, which is all these people's like faces and stuff. She knows how to turn into them now. So I guess a way you could kill her is if you could somehow wipe her memories completely so she can't remember how to transform into anything. So then she dies. That sounds like horrible. I shouldn't have said that. That sounds like one of the worst things ever to do to a person. Would Capella even deserve that, right? How would we even do that? We do brain surgery on her, we to remove all of her memories, right? And then she can die. She can't. She gets obliterated, and she just sits there as like slime on the ground forever because she can't remember how to transform into anything. Now that sounds horrible. Why would I say that? Man, it's never mind. I don't think we should try that. That'd be awful. No one deserves that. Anyway, Al, uh, even if I die 100 deaths, I'm not sure I could ever kill you. Okay, so what the hell is up with Al, right? We also have this weird moment in this episode where he almost takes off his helmet, right? Like, again, he always has the helmet on. That creates this really weird vibe with him, where it's like this, it feels like we would recognize him if he took his helmet off, right? It feels like we would somehow know who he is or something, right? Who, literally, who could he possibly be that we would recognize, right? The only person from Japan that we know, other than Subaru, who's a man, is Subaru's dad. So I guess if Al is Subaru's dad, that would be pretty. It's crazy, but I really don't think that's what's going on. So I really don't think that's it. You know, obviously we don't know how time works here, right? Like, it seems like time both here and like in Japan in the real world aren't like one to one at all, right? Like, there's no reason to think that like when you're brought to this world, it's somehow present day at the same time in that world and here, right? So like I guess I'm saying all that to say that just because Al was brought to this world 19 years ago, that doesn't mean he can't be someone that like Subaru knows or something, right? I mean, it could be literally anyone. I feel like that's what it has to be. It has to be someone that Subaru would know or recognize or something. But like that's insane, right? Like that's crazy, right? So like I don't know. But like Al doesn't seem that old, right? So, well, no, he's probably like I could imagine like I don't know, crazy idea, right? If it's someone that Subaru would recognize, probably be someone around Subaru's age. So if Al was around Subaru's age when he got here, like yeah, 19 years since then, he seems about that age to me. I mean, maybe I'm way off. Who knows, right? But I guess. I just have no idea, like, what the revelation of his identity could possibly mean to us, you know? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, what I do know is he has some weird power related to dying, just like Subaru does, right? But if I die 100 deaths, I'm not sure I could ever kill you. He talks about dying in this episode and how it sucks and all of that, right? It makes me think, yeah, he has some kind of power where when he dies, he, like, gets stronger, I guess, right? That seems pretty basic. I feel like there has to be more to it than that. But what could it possibly be? I don't know. Has he already died? Has Capella killed him and something happened to him? I don't know, right? I don't know. Very strange. I mean, it literally could be anything, I guess. But don't you think maybe you haven't thought this through? We saw you coming a mile away, so we have plenty of time to prepare a special welcome. A special welcome just for her. Absolutely. Pulverize your soul. So it seems like to Capella, some interesting things from this scene about her is it seems like it's just kind of just the idea of any amount of attention that she gets at all is love, right? She has such a weird idea of love that she just thinks anyone paying any kind of attention to her of any form is love, right? Which like that's just weird. I don't know. How does that happen? Why does she think like that, right? Hmm. I mean, it makes you think, like, when she was but, like, if she is somehow a member of the royal family, right? If she's Capella Emerata Lagunica, you would think she got a whole lot of attention when she was, normal and wasn't like this, you know? So, I don't know, but I guess this could be some kind of, obviously, once you get in authority, you kinda become twisted and messed up, so who knows, I suppose, right? She's so happy, right? She's so happy that they did it just for her. Dying hurts and it's scary, especially the first time. I guess Al would know, huh? Thinking just of her. I like this is the worst one. This is the worst one of her transformations that creeps me out. Like, I don't want to look at that. Turns into a dragon yet again. So she must have seen this dragon somewhere, obviously, in order to turn into it, you know? Or it's like, I guess, is this the dragon? Like, is this it? Right? Maybe. If she was a member of the royal family, you would think she might have seen it before, right? The dragon Roswell wants to kill, right? That one. I can't love anyone. Really? What do you mean by that? Why can't you love anyone, Al? Huh? Interesting. Like again, it's almost like again, it's this idea that I had before on like episode 7, the Subaru's like speech episode, right? When he tried to convince Subaru not to do it, basically. He almost feels like a failed Subaru in a way, right? He feels like he he's like he was almost in a situation like Subaru's at one point, and it like beat him, it feels like, considering his attitude about the witch's cult and just what he just said about love, you know? Yeah, yeah. Not love, pure animosity, but any attention at all. Yeah, what could it be but love if it's for you? If it's something you do for another person, then it has to be love, paying them any attention at all, right? Very interesting. Very interesting. Hmm. God, that's the opposite of the way Sirius thought about it, right? Like for Sirius, it was you have to have this complete, full understanding of another and complete empathy for them and all of this for it to be love. For Capella, if you look at her, you're loving her. Like I don't know. Interesting. We zoom in on the communication device. Al resurfaces, almost takes off his helmet, but no, he does not. Interesting. I don't like the idea of everyone talking about my face. Why would people talk about his face? Just because it's all like fucked up. He has scars and stuff. Maybe, right? Is it just that simple? I guess. Okay, we just have a weird moment here. For one, where's Krush? Is Krush okay? Ferris is here, I guess, right? We have this weird moment about Anastasia using magic. Uh, and he says that there's no way Anastasia could ever use magic, right? Which, like, what does that mean? Because for a moment it makes you think, like, oh, is Anastasia Capella? But she can't be, right? Capella's right here, so she's not Capella in disguise or something. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I wonder why she can't use magic. What is it? Like what does Al know about her? How does Al know this about her, right? And is it? I mean, if he's willing to draw his sword and attack her for it, then there must be a pretty strong reason, right? But like, I just have no idea what to think about that. I mean, I guess I'll keep an eye on Anastasia, huh? I really don't know. It was like weird magic too, wasn't it? It was very like magic that we haven't really seen before, in a sense. What's your game here? Interesting. Like, does Al think that Anastasia isn't who she's saying she is? That she's somehow someone else? Or does he think, what? What? I don't know. What is going through his head? I don't know. I'm really not sure. I feel so bad for Ferris. It just, everything is terrible. Like, being Ferris and Crush is just horrible suffering forever. Like, anyway, yeah, Capella's just fine, right? She just got out of here. I really thought it was gonna like stall her for some tiny amount of time, but not even a little bit. I thought it would like crush her and it would be like hard for her to transform into something, but no, she just transformed into a tiny mouse and like crept out of the cracks and stuff in the rubble. Like just no problem at all. God, she is terrifying, huh? Yeah, no damage at all, huh? It probably hurts. It probably hurts her very badly, transforming like that. I can't imagine it feels good, right? After you hit me with such a passionate attack like that. Right, right. Adorable as you lot are in your inability to read and understand the situation. I'll take my leave for today, then. Interesting. Huh. She's done what she wanted to do, which is just, yeah, commit their faces to memory so she can transform into them, I suppose. Although she didn't see Al's face, right? Not really, that's for sure. When I bring up the gospel, I like the change in her voice when they bring up the gospel. My feelings for you guys aren't directions from some book. They're real. Interesting. Interesting. I really wish I knew what the gospel actually says. Like what did it say to all of them today, right? Like, go to Priestella and die? That's what Regulus's gospel said? Like, why would he do it then? you know? I don't know. They feel like these tools that are almost meant to guide all of them towards some kind of I had this idea about Pandora in the last episode about her like guiding reality or something towards some kind of specific end, right? Like she's these weird like reality bending, warping powers and all of this. Maybe the Gospels are somehow a tool of that or something, right? Um, but it's weird because the Gospels are connected to like Echidna, They're connected to Echidna and they have this, they're like the Tome of Wisdom. So I don't know. I don't know. God, I wish Subaru knew about Pandora and he could have asked all of the witches about it back in season 2. God, only idiots mistake fantasy for hope. Yeah, even once Capella is dead, Crush will not be okay. Of course, there could never be a good thing happening to Crush ever. Good old Demi Beasts. Who doesn't love him? How can you do something so cruel? Because no one ever taught me not to play with corpses. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to think about Capella. For some reason, Capella isn't as, like, doesn't seem as outwardly terrible to me as, like, Regulus, right? Which I guess is a pretty low bar. That is a very low bar. But, like, I don't know. I definitely feel, like, more sympathetic towards her in some sense, right? Just, like, the idea that her feelings and stuff, the way she acts, comes from some kind of place than I did about Regulus. She does terrible things though. She's killed so many people. Like she's awful. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm falling for her charm. I guess. When she transforms into hideous creatures and her flesh starts bubbling and warping. It really, yeah, really, it's really great. Who could resist that, huh? Just disappears in a giant pile of rats. It reminds me of like what's it called, like a rat king, like when a bunch of rats get all their tails stuck together and stuff. Oh God, it's so gross. And Reinhard shows up. His eye is recovered. We need to talk about that scene at the end of the last episode for me to talk about how I feel really about Reinhardt here. But I don't know, Ferris's plea, please take them out of their misery. Reinhardt's eyes being covered like this, God, it really is. He's the ultimate hero, But what does that mean, right? He's the one who protects everyone, the one who but like what does that mean for him, right? Nothing good, I think, right? He takes all of this onto himself. It's like we can't see his eyes, right? It's like all he is right now is the sword saint. I don't think what happened in the last episode was good, right? For him. Not at all. Hmm. The way he thinks about himself and the way he views himself, the way it feels like he takes this responsibility from others. The thing he did with Teresia, taking the sword saint power from her, right? For himself. It's like he's saying that he is the only one who will do all of it, right? That he has this overwhelming, immense power. So therefore, he has this duty to be the one who protects everyone. And what does that mean for him? Nothing good, right? I will fulfill my duty as the Sword Saint. It just can't be a good way for him to think about himself. Hmm. Anyway, back we are to fighting Gluttony, right? Yeah, whoever he eats, he gets their skills. Yeah, we've talked about all that. And he eats this one guy, Hicks Hartman, eats his name and his memories, so he has it all. No one remembers him now. Like, it's crazy, it's just instant, right? It's such a crazy, like, reality-bending power, isn't it? It feels like it's on the level of, like, Return by Death and Pandora and stuff, almost, right? Which is weird, because the other authorities don't really feel like that. But this one warps reality on a scale that, like, it feels like nothing else does, really, other than, like, those kinds of things. Hmm. We know how hard you worked. It's not your fault you couldn't protect Million and Melee. This guy knows Melee. Apparently, I assume that's the same Melee we know, right? From back in the village or something? I don't know. I don't know. That is a weird thing for him to say. There's a weird memories for him to have, huh? I don't know. I don't know. He's people's memories and acquires their skills. The power to consume names, the authority of gluttony, indeed. Indeed. Thankfully, no one knows Oto's name. For once, absolutely no one knowing it is a good thing, right? Yeah. And yeah, he has these memories of no one knowing Oto's name, right? Setting the table for the meal. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's tempting to let them get away with it if the taste is up to par. Mm-hmm. God. It's a good thing now, Oto. Like, I embrace it. Come on. Hmm. Yeah, and he brings up Rui again, right? Rui would chew his out. There's no tomorrow. Interesting. If you let them all get away, huh? I wonder, is Rui like their boss or something? Is Rui like the head gluttony representative or something? I don't know. I don't know. Definitely a female name, I think, right? I think so. Interesting. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Being discerning with food makes life all the richer, right? That's the kind of idea that makes me think there is some way to connect this idea of gluttony and all that to like the way they think about food and stuff, right? Being discerning with food, being discerning with what you experience in life, I guess, right? Versus, I don't know, like what from Roy? I don't know. It feels like such a broad thing still. Feels like such a broad idea still. Anyway, yeah, we were all absolutely no match for him at all until, thank God, Beatrice shows up right before I he starts torturing Oto and eating his fingers. Like he must have really been savoring it, right? If you only put finger or tooth marks on his finger, right? Like Jesus, I love what we do with the title card too. How we go from the end of the episode, a hideous banquet, to Betty starts talking and it disappears. That's great. That's great. A banquet, no longer hideous, huh? Thank God. I wonder if Mimi's okay as well. I don't know. I don't know. But she's here. Thank God. Oh yeah, and we talk about and he starts imitating Vrem. One, I wonder, can he even eat Beatrice's memories? Because she's a spirit, right? So I don't know. Who knows, I guess. Maybe he can, maybe he can't. It depends how it works, I suppose. I guess I'm gonna assume he can, I suppose. But yeah, Rem is indeed in there. I wonder if he even knows how many people are inside of him. Right now, I'm simply the attendant of the person I love, the one who will one day become that hero. The attendant of my beloved Natsuki Subaru. Rem. Oh, God. God, yeah, I still don't know how I feel about that. Like, hearing him say that about Rem's feelings, right? Um, Being the attendant of the person that she loves. It just feels like such a weird dynamic, right? Or it could be. I don't know. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm really viewing it in a bad light for no real reason. But I don't know. That's just it just strikes me. It just makes me think, like, especially the way Subaru always reacts, and like the way it almost feels like he regresses in a way whenever he's faced with that idea of Rem and what happened to her. Which, like, no, like, yeah, that makes sense. It's this horrible, awful thing. It's something he lost. That's like unimaginable, right, for him, right? Um, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll think about it more. I'm sure. I mean, it has to come up again eventually, right? Maybe in the next episode even. The one person we cannot allow Subaru to meet. Indeed. Yeah, he will be hurt in a way that can never be undone. Interesting. Interesting. And then, I mean, I guess just what that makes me think then is like, if he'd be hurt in a way that could never be undone from this, right? If he's still holding on, you think, to some idea of getting Rem back in the future, which I imagine he is, what would it mean to him if he really did lose Rem? If he lost that hope, right? If he is still holding on to those things that Rem told him and all of that, and that is something that if he didn't have it would be this awful thing to him. I don't know. What if he does have to face that reality, right? Will he ever have to face that reality? Will he ever have to give up hope that Rim will come back? I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. Gotta take him down here and now. Good episode, but before we finish the discussion, we gotta talk about this last scene at the end of the last episode, because we there's some parts about it that I misinterpreted. I don't think it's my fault. I don't think it's my fault that I misinterpreted them. I think it's, I don't know, that I don't know how I was supposed to figure this out, I guess. Or I guess I could have. I just didn't interpret it in this way at all. Okay, sure. So maybe it is my fault. The important thing in this scene that I completely misinterpreted was Wilhelm's question towards Reinhard, right? He says to Wilhelm, I mean, Wilhelm says to Reinhard, did I say that wrong? Do you regret killing your grandmother? Killing Teresia? And Reinhard says, no, I did what was right. And the way I interpreted this was Wilhelm saying, do you regret killing her, like, when she actually died, right? Like, talking about in terms of her actual death, right? All those years ago when he got the blessing of the Sword Saint and she died, right? I thought that's what he was talking about, right? I thought him saying, do you regret killing her, is still like saying something about Wilhelm and the way he views the situation. Like, basically, he still blames Reinhard in some sense for it, right? Even if he doesn't want to, right? Even if he says he doesn't and wants to forgive Reinhard for it, he can't, right? But no, apparently, and this is much more explicit in the novels, people told me, is the thing Wilhelm is actually asking Reinhard here is whether or not he regrets killing Teresia right here, right now, what he just did to Teresia, right? The zombie version of her that just died, right? Which is a very different question, right? It's a very different question because that doesn't mean anything about the way Wilhelm feels about what happened to Teresia, like, in the past with Reinhard, right? Whether or not he blames Reinhard for that. I feel like the fact that Wilhelm asks this, the fact that Wilhelm wants to know how Reinhard feels about it, and like always, of course, Reinhard is so, like, calm and composed, shows no emotion, just completely unbroken by it, just says, no, it was right. That certainly still says something about the way Reinhardt, like, shows his emotions, and the way, the obvious way in which it would be so easy for both Wilhelm and Henkel to blame Reinhardt for what happened to Teresia. Because I guess I just imagine that just like his reaction to it now is like this, right? To what happened to Teresia now, right? Which, like, sure, Teresia dying as this zombie clone thing, it was inevitable, right? Of course, she was gonna die, and there was nothing we could do about it other than that, right? Sure, but I don't think that's the point. I think it's just Wilhelm expects Reinhard to feel something about it, right? What Reinhard expects, I mean, Wilhelm expects Reinhard to feel like, anything at all for Wilhelm, this was such a giant, like seeing his wife again, confessing his love to her, all of these things, right? That feels so meaningful. It's so important to him, and all of this, right? And then here's Reinhard, just as always, just calm and composed, has nothing to say, has nothing to, just no, I was right, just completely not doubting himself at all, right? And the reason why I think that's really important is because, like, we see Henkel's animosity towards Reinhard, right? The way he feels about this, right? Like that he killed Teresia both back then and now, and all of this, right? It's so easy to view Reinhard in that light, because I guess I just assume the way that this situation mirrors what happened to Teresia in the past so much so, right? With Reinhard like killing her both times. I imagine his reaction back then was probably similar in a sense, right? Like, yeah, I guess Reinhard like feels bad, right? I don't think Reinhard is happy that Teresia died, right? Of course not, But I feel like Henkel feels like it's not enough, right? Like for sure. Um, but Henkel feels like it's not fair. I guess he just all the feelings you would get from this situation. I think it's a very human thing that like anyone can put themselves in Henkel's shoes. I hope at least it's easy for me to do so. I can completely understand it, especially seeing Reinhard, who is Teresia's son, right? Being like this, not showing the emotion, not experiencing the same like horrific emotions ravaging through you that you would experience when having this horrible loss happen, right? And just seeing his stone cold stoic face like he always is. Yeah, it would be like infuriating, wouldn't it? It really would, right? I think it's Reinhard's fault. I think Reinhard is suppressing his emotions and doesn't want to show them, because I think the other important dynamic of this whole thing that I just didn't think about, and I really should have, is the fact that Wilhelm thought of Teresia and this whole zombie clone situation and everything. He thought of it as his duty to do, right? It's like this. It was this thing for him to essentially almost make up for what happened back then in a way, right? It feels like very, very linked in that sense, right? We've talked about that all throughout the season. Is that idea of like being a hero, protecting the people you care about, and like the duty that you have to do so. Reinhard, well, Wilhelm is very driven by that, right? Wilhelm is very driven by, like that was his whole dynamic with Teresia, right? Is he was the one who took her sword from her and was supposed to be the protector, the person who took that burden from her, and all of this, right? He defined himself so much by it, and then he feels this horrible feeling that he like failed, that he didn't do what he should have when Teresia died, right? And that's haunted him ever since, right? Um, and I think Wilhelm, it's clear that Wilhelm blames himself so much for it, right? He doesn't lash out at Reinhard the same way Henkel does. But you just have to think, like, here's Reinhard, this guy who it feels like he's infinitely powerful. He has all the power in the world. He's able to protect everyone and everything, almost, right? We know that there's things he can't do. It's impossible to be literally like omni-powerful, right? Um, there's still things he can't do, but he is like the ultimate protector of everything, right? He is the sword saint. He is the hero who swoops in and saves the day. You know what I mean? And he did that here as well, right? Like it was supposed to be Wilhelm's duty to strike down Teresia. He was on the floor begging her to look at him and for him to be the one to take it all, because he views it as this personal failing on his part that it's even happening, right? If Teresia wasn't dead, she wouldn't be here right now. And then Reinhard just swoops in and does it for him, right? Reinhard just comes in and one-shots her unceremoniously. No emotion, doesn't feel anything about it, or at least doesn't show his feelings, right? He thinks about it very logically, I suppose. He's just like, oh, you're mistaken. That wasn't Teresia, right? That's just. But it would be such a human, normal reaction to have to feel like it was, right? To feel like, yeah, that looks just like her, right? Like the feelings that Hinkle has about it. Um, and I just bet that whole dynamic here, just that happened in this scene with Reinhard swooping in to save the day, and all of this probably just paints like a broad picture of the way that the dynamic in their family is in general, and why all three of them have like this dynamic that they do, this animosity that Henkel feels towards Reinhard, and I guess just the complicated feelings that Wilhelm feels towards Reinhard, right? Like Wilhelm has like this insecurity about his ability to protect the people he cares about because of this failure that he thinks happened with Teresia, right? So how does it feel to have this grandson who does everything and shows no emotion while doing it, and shows, like is this perfect protector, right? And it's like you have to wonder, does Reinhardt's attitude about that kind of thing, about being the person who protects everyone, being the sword saint who swoops in to save the day and all of that, right? Him him being so sure that he's right in his actions and everything. Does it come from being surrounded by people with that kind of attitude, by someone like Wilhelm, who felt so strongly like he must protect everyone and all of that, or protect the people he cares about and take that burden from everyone, right? From Teresia. Because Reinhardt's doing that, but just for everyone on a scale that no one else can. So I completely understand, I guess, just the basically the problem I had with the scene, I guess, was just misunderstanding Wilhelm's question led me to not understanding like the dynamic here, I guess. But really, I think it's this like turmoil, I guess, Wilhelm is having over the fact that he wasn't the one who was able to fulfill this, right? It's this I guess it leads me to this question in my mind of like, is it good to always take someone's like troubles and burdens from them just because you're powerful enough to do so, right? Because that's what Reinhardt did, right? Yeah, he swooped in and saved the day. Wilhelm and Henkel might have both died, I guess, right? But it's just for Wilhelm. I'm not saying Reinhardt shouldn't have done that, because yeah, they might have both just died, right? Of course, right? But it's just the feelings Wilhelm must be feeling about that, or just he just failed again, essentially, right? It's like he passed it on to Reinhardt. The way Reinhardt, it feels like he kind of takes that duty from everyone, right? Um, yeah, yeah. I don't know. And I think Reinhardt, I think what I've said about him in the past isn't at all wrong. I think he probably does feel trapped by this duty in some way, by being the Sword Saint, being so absurdly powerful, having that ability to protect everyone and to be so strong and all of these things, right? Um, I think leads him down the path of thinking that therefore he must, right? That he's trapped by this duty, by this responsibility, the same way Wilhelm is, right? I think they're very similar characters, just Wilhelm, I think they have very similar emotions. Reinhardt just doesn't show those emotions, doesn't let it get to him in any way, right? He doesn't show it. He must experience them though. He must have those feelings, right? Yeah. Okay. Basically, the scene, rather than being some kind of like uh further exploration of that whole idea of Reinhardt having killed Teresia. That basically, in the past, that basically wasn't wasn't actually the subject at all. It's very much just like the current dynamic between all three of them, which actually, the more I think about it, is actually more meaningful and more interesting in a way, right? I think it actually paints this, like it just shows the very stoic attitude Reinhardt has towards like his heroism and towards like, doing things that are right. And I guess just the question is whether or not that's like a good thing, I suppose, right? Like whether or not being that kind of idealistic hero, right? Even though what he did was right in this case, like sure, you can't help but feel, I think, feelings that both Wilhelm and Hinkle are having in this case, which is this maybe not animosity towards Reinhard, but just feeling like there's something wrong, that there has to be something wrong with the way Reinhard is feeling about it, right? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that scene because I feel like that whole dynamic between Wilhelm's feelings about like this struggle and this idea of like protecting people and taking that burden from others when you're strong enough to do so. It's very interesting with Reinhard being here, being the one who took that burden from Wilhelm because he has infinite power and the ability to do so for everyone. And like what that does to Reinhardt as a character. Like I don't think Wilhelm would be happy if he was like Reinhardt, if he had infinite power and everything, because that would just lead him to be the same way that I think it's clear that it's had a negative effect on Reinhardt in a lot of ways. So what does that mean? Does that mean there's too much power to have? That if you are able to protect everyone, then that's a bad thing? I hope that's not what it means. That's a sad thing to think, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm recording this as I was about to render the video because I realized there's more I have to say. There's more I literally have to say. I think I'm wrong, and it's not that Reinhard would have reacted like similarly to Teresia's death in the past, right? Because one, he would have been, I don't know how old he would have been, very young, right? I'm sure he was very distraught by it. And I think actually that is what is explanatory of so much of his behavior now, right? I kind of think him and Wilhelm are like the same, right? That like because of the loss of Teresia, Reinhard blames himself for that, and so therefore he thinks he has this duty to protect and to be the sword saint, to be the best sword saint possible in all of this, because he took Teresia from the world, right? Because because of what happened to her, him getting that power and her dying because of it, he feels like he has this responsibility forever to be the best sword saint ever, and to be, to be the person who protects everyone, and to do the best job possible at doing that, in order to make up, in some sense, for what happened with Teresia, in order to make it not have been something terrible, to make it less terrible, as long as he can do the best possible job that he can, right? And he's like losing himself in the process of that, right? Like he that's what's so sad about it, is that it feels like the better of a job he does at being Sword Saint and all of that, I think the more animosity like Henkel feels towards him, right? Whereas from Reinhardt's point of view, whether he's like even doing it consciously or not, I guess, I think it's an attempt to like to make up for it in the first place, right? To like the way that he thinks of Teresia having been lost, and that means, to make up for that, he has to be the best Sword Saint possible. It's almost like he's thinking of it as the fact that Teresia was the Sword Saint, and so therefore the Sword Saint was lost. So he has to be the best Sword Saint possible. And that will like what, maybe even win back people's feelings for him, or his own guilt about it, or something, right? But the problem is Henkel's feelings towards it aren't like that at all. He doesn't care about the Sword Saint. He doesn't care how good of a job, how awesome Reinhardt is, and all of this, It's about Teresia, right? It's that difference between the Sword Saint and Teresia, the difference between the songstress and Liliana, the difference between the Sword Saint and Reinhardt, right? All of these things, the separation between the hero and the person, right? And I think in Reinhardt's guilt, he has lost that separation, both for Teresia and for himself. Okay, we're done. This was a long discussion, but that's okay. That's okay. We got the finale next time, so hey, finale, and then season 4. That'll be pretty cool. Okay, well, if you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and I will see you in the next one.